We have what's called Article 3, and you've heard of this many times in the news. They'll call Article 3 judges. Well, Article 3 judges are considered the federal judges, and of course Article 3 laid out the creation of the United States Supreme Court. By the way, the first Supreme Court justice, Chief Justice, was John Jay. And remember, when the Constitution was, the battle to ratify the Constitution was led by the Federalist Papers, which were primarily written by, foremost, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and a few by John Jay. John Jay would become the first Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. I also want to point out that relative to the Supreme Court, the third Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Marshall, who served for a very long time, he laid out in a famous Supreme Court decision, Marbury versus Madison, that the Supreme Court was the final decider of what was constitutional and what was not constitutional. That wasn't set up in the Constitution. And just to let you know, the Constitution isn't very long. So what has come out of the Supreme Court decisions is all of these additional constitutional findings and workings that weren't there in the original paper. When you hear people say we need original constitutional Supreme Court judges and federal judges, what they're really saying is they want somebody who just sees the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, what does it say, and deal with it. Well, what's happened is, of course, there's been a lot of rights that have come out of that. Some make common sense, some not so much. For example, the right to life issue, where they found abortion in the right to privacy, which doesn't exist in the Constitution anywhere. However, it does make sense in a way, by the way, not for abortion, that we would have the right to privacy.